But I had one question which invariably comes up from non-industry folks, Kalil, and that is the danger that 5G represents to human race.
Yeah.
And it's not, I mean, we in the industry kind of, gloss over it, but it's coming more and more. I've seen posters at airports, 5G kills. I've seen local news covering the topic. What's the science behind it? Like, should we be worried, or what's the state of affairs?
Yeah, that's a very good question, and I've been asked iterations of that question for a long time as it pertains to cell phones causing brain cancer. And I'll start with a caveat that I am not a radiation expert, and I don't have a long history of studying subhuman radiation effects on a demographic. But what I can say is that it's impossible for me to say as a scientist and a physician that this is going to be harmless. We have had a bad history of misunderstanding the risks of public health. The addiction of nicotine and its carcinogenesis, we didn't really pick up on the ability of pollutants in the ozone to trigger asthmatics and cause lung cancer. We didn't warn anybody about the prevalence of bird scooters downtown, which are ruining everyday transactions. And so, we're not foolproof. But I will say that, historically, there has been a lot of concern about this from different subgroups, and it started with overground electrical wires thought to cause leukemia, and then it transitioned into radio waves, which were thought to do the same thing, and then we went on to cellular service, and similarly that was the case, and then 2G and 3G and 4G, and there were questions along the way in each of those junctures as well. Epidemiologically, from a public health standpoint, we have not seen an uptake in brain tumors as it relates to cell phone use. There are studies which ultimately all end up as inconclusive, and they all come to the same conclusion, which is more studies are needed. But realistically, when you look at the data, when you account for the increase in the ability to pick up brain tumors that wasn't there 20 years ago, we're not seeing a difference in the rate of people acquiring tumors. And then it was, if you have your cell phone in your pocket, are you more likely to cause genital cancer? Or if it's by your head, is it going to cause brain cancer? We're not seeing those things. For those that are interested, there's a reasonable write-up in the New York Times about 5G and its healthcare risks. And part of the issue is that the individual who raised the alarm on wireless was Dr. Curry, who is very well respected. And his input to a school board was that children should not be exposed to wireless networks because it can cause cancer, based on a variety of different preclinical studies that weren't in humans. A lot of those studies involve very unrealistic setup. So if you irradiate a cell with anything, whether it be a radio wave or a microwave, or you blow on it long enough, you're going to cause some change. But human brains and human bodies have lots of insulating factors. Your skin is an amazing insulator against all sorts of things, and your skull is too. So I think that at the level that we're exposed to 5G, I find it very difficult to believe that there's going to be an adverse health effect. As a sense of scale, and again, I'm not a radiation expert, but I do perform radiosurgery on people. When we look at the amount of dose that's tolerated by the human brain before it has an effect radiologically, we're looking at something in the range of anywhere between 100,000 to 1 million times more than is considered the safe, tolerant level than you get on a yearly exposure. So basically, it takes a lot to induce cancer change. And it requires a lot of very direct stimulation for that to happen in the brain. So the short answer is I can't tell you for sure, but realistically speaking, I find it very unlikely there's going to be significant health issues or even noticeable health issues from the